Welcome to the Give Back Girls podcast. I'm Anita Cunningham.
And I'm Toria McFadden.
Today, Toria and I have the pleasure to talk with Lindsay Delahunt from the Bloomington Normal chapter of the National Organization for Women, or NOW.
I didn't even realize there was a local chapter for NOW. I'm so excited to learn more about this, as well as our listeners.
I know, it's pretty new, and thankfully, we have Lindsay, the founder of our local NOW chapter, here in the studio with us today. Lindsay, welcome to the Give Back Girls podcast.
Thank you.
Lindsay, can you tell us a little bit more about the National Organization for Women?
Absolutely. So the National Organization for Women, or NOW is what we'll call it, it's the largest grassroots feminist organization in the U.S. It was founded in 1966, and it's been a powerful force of gender equity ever since. NOW advocates for reproductive rights, economic justice, ending violence against women, LGBTQIA+ rights, racial justice, and constitutional equity. What makes NOW unique is its intersectional approach, so it recognizes that all these issues are connected and must be addressed together.
Yeah. And Lindsay, why did you decide to start a local chapter of NOW? What made this the right time and place for something like that in Bloomington Normal?
So honestly, it started with conversations with my girlfriends. We would meet either at somebody's house or out in public, and we would find that we were scared, we were overwhelmed, we were unsure, and we were confused. Like, what do we do? And we would vent about political things that are happening, or Planned Parenthood closing, or Roe versus Wade being overturned. And we would go home, and after the conversations, we'd feel kind of hopeful, right? Because you're talking with other people that are like, yeah, we feel the same way you do. But then you'd wake up the next day and it was like rinse and repeat.
Right. Nothing had changed.
Yes, correct. And so I was like, I want to recreate that hope. I want to take all that emotion and turn it into motion. And I found NOW, and with it being so heavily female and their whole message is community and building those things, that I was like, we need this. I need this. So
awesome.
That makes a lot of sense. I remember those days, especially early on, with a lot of female coworkers, as well as having 2 daughters. So this makes a lot of sense to me. I think you've had a few meetings now. Can you tell us more of what happens at these meetings and what can people expect if they attend?
Sure. So our meetings are really about that connection and community that I spoke about earlier. We talk about normal now, our missions, our values, and where we want to go as an organization. We also invite non-members to join us for the first hour just to chat or ask questions and get a feel for what we're about. We focus on bringing together local resources and building a network of support for the women that come. And actually, we've had men come, we've had kids come. So it's an organization for women, not of women. And so it's not just about activism either. It's just about belonging.
Yeah. You know, we've talked a lot in other episodes about the importance of community and just finding that community for yourself. And what I think I'm hearing you say is you really recognize kind of this need for ongoing community that you were experiencing and your friends were experiencing. Mm-hmm. And now you've just created an opportunity for other women to find this community.
Yes, absolutely. I think that, at our last meeting, we just had a great talk about how do you bring women together to feel empowered. Yeah. And, something that women always want is that self time, that me time, right? Where you want to connect with your girlfriends or you want to get things done that you're passionate about, but you don't have time.
Right.
So we were like, how do we do this? How do we order a bunch of pizzas and do political letters and just hang out? So yeah.
Yeah. Love that. All right. So it sounds like these meetings are really cool and really interesting. So if any of our listeners were interested in attending or maybe even joining Normal Now, how would they go about doing that?
Sure. So the best way to follow us right now is through our Facebook group. You can search Normal Now on Facebook and find us. That's where we post our updates, our events, and our meeting info. But if Facebook isn't your thing, and we actually have a lot of us reach out through our website, it's normalnow.net, and you can subscribe to our monthly newsletter. We send that out monthly. We send out our agenda and our updates to everybody to let them know that way. And we are working on an Instagram, but I am not super social media heavy, so my oldest is working on that for us.
Nice. You're bringing them all in.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Most of the nonprofits we've talked to are seeking to raise funds for multiple projects. Does Now have any fundraising needs?
So I love this question because the board just told me I'm not going to be the committee chair for fundraising.
Yay, you.
So, yes. But yes, we do. So as a new chapter, we're building everything from scratch. So donations help us cover things like printing materials, educational materials. We're working with Planned Parenthood right now to figure out how to get contraceptives and Plan B out there. And all of that takes resources. So we don't have a specific campaign, but we are taking donations through our website. So any amount helps.
That's awesome.
We can definitely.
And Lindsay, like you're new. When was your first meeting?
Yeah, so we got our convening papers on May 5th.
Yeah.
So we are right out the box, and we have such a lovely core group of women that have donated so much of not just their money, but their time and their energy into getting a lot of our products out there because we do want to be we targeted the Pride Fest on July 26th as kind of our debut coming out as a group. So we're really trying to get ourselves out there.
Love it.
We can definitely add a lot of this information to our notes too for the episode, so people can not just find out about your organization and get involved if they want to, but they can also donate directly to your organization.
Yes, we'll pop those links in the show notes. So make sure you're looking there for those links. And now, given it's still very, very new, but in the next year or two, where do you see our Normal Now chapter? What are your goals?
Yeah, so to become a full chapter, we have this year to really establish ourselves. And the goal is to have 12 members, and we have 41.
Woo!
So
wow. That's amazing.
Yes, we're riding on this right now. But I want us to be a strong, visible presence in the community, a go-to group for advocacy, and really clarifying that advocacy is more than just women with signs, right? We are educating, we're supporting women, we're and all, not just women, we're supporting all marginalized groups. We're planning to anchor our work around 3 core events each year. So we'll have an educational, a collaborative, and a legislative event.
Awesome.
These events are going to help us continue educating and uniting people in meaningful ways. And I also hope that we'll have growing membership and stronger partnerships with the other local organizations. And I just want us to be bold and impactful.
I love it. Love it. Well, Lindsay, I'll say this. Tori and I are founding members of the 100 Women for Good Bloomington Normal group, and we work with nonprofits and a lot of nonprofits that work mostly with women. So if there are introductions that we can help make for you, please don't hesitate.
Absolutely.
Because I think a lot of our nonprofits that we've worked with would be absolutely thrilled to have another community partner.
Absolutely. And a common question we ask those nonprofits that we have on our podcast are there meaningful moments that they can reflect on? Now, knowing you're so new, that might be limited, but do you have anything that kind of stand out in your mind saying, hey, this is why we're here?
Yeah, so our first meeting, we had 12 members, and I was like, this is great. 12 is easy. I can handle standing up in front of all of these people. And our second meeting is what opened my eyes. There were over 50 people that came to our second meeting. And it just inspired me. I felt humbled. And I thought, I never thought I would be the woman that's standing up in front of people right now, but they're here. And it was very meaningful. But I think the most powerful moment that I had, it didn't happen in person. A woman reached out to us through our website, and she wasn't able to attend the meetings in person. She's 84 years old. She can't drive at night, and we don't have Zoom capabilities right now. And so she wanted to share her story, and she had been a part of the original Now movement in the 70s. And she actually marched with Llewellyn Laurenti. And Llewellyn was the Normal Now chapter leader in the 70s. It wasn't called Normal Now, but, the organization.
Sure.
And she marched to Chicago with the ERA. And this woman, she trusted me with that memory. And I just kept thinking I wanted to make her proud. And I know that we are not the first women to gather and push for change in Bloomington Normal, and we won't be the last, but we're riding on their shoulders, and we just want to keep moving for them.
Lindsay, that's awesome. I'm a little bit choked up. One, first of all, I think, a lot of women, I think, don't see themselves as the woman in front of the room. Like, that's not often something that a lot of women think about. But you're the woman in front of the room, and somebody has to be, right? Mm-hmm. And so thank you for taking that on. And that's a lot of responsibility, but you're showing other women what it looks like to lead. And that's really, really cool.
Thank you. I do want to say, because I have several friends and several women that are like, we don't want to be advocate, like we don't want anything with activism. And I just want to say that coming to the meeting is being an activist. Coming and just showing up and being present, donating some time, donating resources for us, that's all part of activism, and you belong here. There is a spot.
Yeah, I love that. And this community that you're creating with these women, if you are a woman listening to this podcast in the Bloomington Normal area and you're looking for that community, this may be a place to check out. Second Tuesday of every month. We'll put the link in the show notes. All right. Lindsay, thank you so much. It has been such a pleasure talking with you and learning more about the Normal Now chapter. It's for our audience, as we've mentioned a couple times, be sure to check the show notes for links for more information about Now. And with that, I think that about does it for this episode of the Give Back Girls. New episodes drop on the second Sunday of every month, so make sure you're hitting that follow button so they show up in your feeds. And a special thank you to the Illinois State University School of Communication for use of their podcasting studio and technical engineering and production services.
And with that, as always, go out and do some good and give back.